when you look at this thing, you say, well, how do you put all that together, right? What you do is you really keep it as simple as possible. One thing that I always kept was the main thing was always the main thing for me, right? I had two foundational principles that I always live by, and I do right now today. What does the customer want? Period. It doesn't matter, right? I've been married for 30 some odd years. Me and Josie were elementary sweethearts. I gave her all my Valentine's Day cards, right? You would have called me a simp back then, right? I gave her all my Valentine's Day cards. I didn't make them out to nobody else in the classroom. That was the paper ones we used to put in the envelope. You know what I mean? I'm too old. None of y'all remember that. But we used to put them in, you know, so she got them all, the whole box, right? But one thing that I learned is it doesn't matter what I do, right? If it's not what she wants, it could be what I want all day long. So what I learned in business, you can have a desire for something, but if it's not what somebody's willing to buy, it don't matter. So your customer, when you find out what your customer wants, and that's what made me successful in business, I found out what they wanted. What was their pain point? Because at the end of the day, if they have a pain point and you solve that problem, you got as much business as you want. The second thing that I learned is that I need to understand what my competition is doing, right? I don't care. Sometimes we get in business, we say we the smartest bean in the pot. I'm the smartest person on the block. I know plastics better than anybody. I didn't have that attitude, right? My attitude was, what is my competition doing and how do I get a competitive edge on them? Those two principal things have kept me in business and kept me buying and selling, turning around businesses. So fast forward, those businesses I scaled and then I got in the private equity space. I started learning what private equity was about. This is where you have to know when it's the right time to sell. I scaled the business and then partnered with a $170 million company when I was a $21 million company. You may say, well, Bill, why'd you do that? You lost control. Check out what I did. I got 10% of that business. I took a salary. I took 10% of all the future growth profits. I leased the building and the equipment to the company. So I had 4 streams of income from that one deal. And you may say, well, Bill, you didn't own the company no more. I don't care. They were in my building. They had all the equipment they were leasing from me. They were in my building and they were paying me. And I had 10% of all the future profits. You may say, well, Bill, your name wasn't on the building no more. I didn't care. That was not important to me. That name on the building changed 5 times. It's getting ready to change again. And guess who still owns the building? So when you start to look at assets like that and you start to split up your assets, most of the time we put everything into one business. Now, this is a learning moment, and how am I doing on time, Diane?
I just decided you could go to 8 p.m. Everybody who's with me, Bill could go to 8. Honestly, you are great. I think you got about 15 minutes, sir. You keep at it.
So I'm going to take 5 minutes and give you this piece of information. So as I started learning the private equity space, right? And then I started learning, where can I maximize my potential? I started taking everything that I had that was an asset in the business and put it in a different business. So if I own machines went to another business. If I own contracts, it went to another business. If I owned the building, it went to another business. As I scaled the business, and when I start divesting things, I had ownership in every component of the business. When I first started out, everything was under the one company. So as things got sticky, Diane told you, I went through 2 downturns. Remember in the 2008, 2009 timeframe, 2010, the financial crisis, I bought my largest piece of commercial real estate during that time. Why did I do that? Because I took the risk. I said, if everybody's getting out, this stuff got to be fire sale. So then I bought it at discounted rates while everybody else was exiting. So when I say get your assets, don't try not to. And I know sometimes you have to, but try not to put all your business eggs in one basket. A foundational principle, try to split it up. You can create as many LLCs or S Corps or C Corps you want to. There's no rule that says you can't. And check this out. You yourself, you're not the business. You're an employee of the business. You let the business pay you. If the business can't afford you right now, that's fine. Build it up on the balance sheet. Have some debt. They owe you. You working for the business. Let the business be the business and you be you. I know you say, yeah, man, that don't sound right. It sounds like some foo-foo dust to me, right? It sounds like it's a Ouija board. So no, this is real talk, right? Because as you grow, you start replacing yourself. You hire your next president, right? You pay them their W-2. Now, you get a different salary at that time because then you're the chairman, you're holding another position. Maybe you bring a COO in, you stay CEO. Maybe you bring a president in, you're CEO. So there's so many dynamics to the layers of your business. Always, please keep this in mind. Protect your personal wealth. The reason that the financial crisis didn't sink me is because the bank didn't want to fool with me. You know why the bank didn't want to fool me? Because I said, you can come get all this stuff. Here go all the keys. They said, wait a minute. You mean we got to bankrupt all this stuff? Yes, you do. So let me cut a deal and you guys will be fine. You take a haircut, I take a haircut, the customer takes a haircut, and we all keep going down this road together. And that's exactly what happened. They said, okay, we'll let you work your plan. Because understand the bank, and this is where we sometimes get nervous a little bit. And I was too, trust me, I was scared to death, right? But as I started working through the process, start paying attention to what they were saying, they were begging me to keep the doors open because they didn't want to write that stuff off. When they have to write it off, what they have to do is prop their reserves up now for bad debt. I didn't realize that. They take that out of their loan availability and have to offset it with bad debt reserve. I'm like, huh, they don't want to sink none of this stuff, but they will if you don't have a solution. So that's how I weathered some of these storms. I leveraged my assets, made sure that the business was the business. I was separate from the business always. I tried to keep personal guarantees off stuff, and I know you got to do it in the beginning. Do limited every time you can. If they say you got to sign the personal guarantee, say, I want to sign the limited personal guarantee. What's the limited that I can do? You don't ask for it, they don't volunteer. So just a few nuggets in how to grow your business, how to protect your personal assets, because things will go bad, right? Trust and believe. I had rose-colored glasses, wasn't nothing going bad. I was in it, and there wasn't nothing going bad. There wasn't gonna be no financial crisis. The customer was gonna love me. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And I'm smart. And I had so much arrogance going on. The real world was staring me in the face, said, I'm about to slap you, I'm about to slap you. Paying attention, I'm about to slap you. And I said, no, I'm good, I'm good. And then I got slapped the first time. Then I got hit in the head with a brick. And then I ran into the brick wall. And then I got ran over by the truck. And then I started realizing this stuff is real, it's painful. But you got to pay attention to what your customer wants and know what your competition is doing. If you know those two things, you are destined for success because your customer is the one that pays the bills. Nobody else pays the bills. If you don't have no customer, you don't get no bills paid.
For more information, visit b3elevation.com.